Payson.
Hello, I'm Grandma Stahl.
Good to meet you. First question.
Okay.
What year were you born?
I was born in 1949.
Really?
Really? So I am going to be
Whoa.
75 in March 23rd.
Okay. It's fine. It's been thrown before. Okay. How many people are in your family? Any names and from like oldest to youngest?
You mean in my original family?
Yes, like your mom and like your siblings.
Okay. My mom,
I can't find it.
her name was Bernice.
Bernice? Okay.
Bernice Gloria. My dad was named Rudolph Herman John. My mom was a plank. My dad was a block.
What does that mean?
Plank marries a block. Isn't that a little weird?
I don't know what that means.
Well, people made fun of the fact that a plank was marrying a block.
I don't know what that means.
Her last name was Plank. My mom's last name was Plank. And she married my dad, whose last name was Block.
Why was that funny?
I don't know. That was their sense of humor, maybe. I have 3 other siblings. My sister Deborah was born first. She's 11 months older than me, born in April. Then it comes me, born in March. Then my brother Dale is 10 months younger than me. He was born in January. And then there was a tag behind Ronald. He was born in December, and he was 5 years younger.
Oh.
Yep.
That's fun. How did you get to school every day? Is it different than now?
Probably not. We lived in the country and we rode the bus to school. We were on the very end of our school district. 2 farms over and we would have gone to another school district. So we had a fairly long bus ride to school.
What were some of the rules you had to follow in school?
No chewing gum. No talking in study hall. No cheating on tests. Being, I think, courteous and kind. Probably a little more stricter than now in regard to some things. We could not wear jeans.
Oh, really?
Mm-mm.
I think that's another question.
Okay.
So you can.
I'll just,
later.
yeah. But pretty much the same rules.
Why could you not chew gum?
Because I think the same reason that probably kids would stick it under the desks. Yeah.
How were kids disciplined in your school? And did you ever get in trouble?
Oh. We were sent to the principal's office, and sometimes we had to copy out of a dictionary. My friend and I were in study hall and we laughed at a joke. And the study hall monitor, who was a principal, we had 4 principals at that time, they were sharing the duty, came over, opened up the dictionary and said, "This is your page to copy." Closed it up, told my friend, "This is your page to copy."
You had to copy the whole page?
The whole page.
How long did that take you?
All night long, because it had to be back in the next day.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Just because we laughed at a joke.
Describe one memory from school.
have a whole lot of good memories from school, Payson. I was a very good student, so that was a good memory. We were from the country. We were quite poor. Like I said, we couldn't wear jeans. You had to wear dresses. We were a consolidated school. So 2 schools came together and became one. And the town kids were not very nice to country kids. So I don't have a lot of good memories about high school. Elementary, I have very good. We were separate at that time. And I have lots of good memories. In elementary, I mean elementary and middle school. We went to 8th grade in a school. And then we went to the high school. I had some wonderful teachers. That's a good memory. I had some wonderful teachers. I had a wonderful social studies teacher, a very good English teacher that I liked. Even the science teacher was tough, but he was nice. So I had some very good teachers that I did. But don't go back to my class reunions at all. No.
That's okay. I might not have either. What type of clothes did you have to wear?
Dresses, skirts, knee socks. That's it.
Okay.
Yep.
At what age did you finish school and start working?
Well, I finished school at age 18, immediately started working, and worked at home on the farm. If you're on the farm, you work all the time. Many times the bus would be waiting for us to finish dressing in order to catch the bus. So had a very good bus driver. But I started working in the summer before I went away to college in a factory, and still worked at home as well because there was always work to be done. But 18, started working in a factory to earn money to go to college. So.
What are you most proud of?
I am most proud of my children and my grandchildren. They're all wonderful human beings. They married wonderful spouses. I am proud of what they have accomplished. I am proud of how they treat others. I'm just proud of them. Yes.
How does music affect your life?
You know, I love music. I love music, but it's very calming for me to play music that I love to listen to. I like all different kinds of music. But growing up, I didn't have a lot of exposure to music because we just didn't have time to listen to music. We just, it was, we had work to do. We had schoolwork to do, things to do. And so my exposure to music growing up wasn't real good. It was after that. And I love music. I love music. I did learn to play piano, and I love playing piano. And so that was good,
Okay. Describe a memory of one of your birthdays.
My birthdays, all of them were wonderful because we celebrated as a great big group. My mom's 2 brothers, families, my cousins, we celebrated every birthday together as a huge group. So we were probably usually about 40 of us at a birthday party. And they were a big deal. Okay. Am I supposed to, from way back, I'm supposed to describe her to even now?
Oh, any memory.
Any memories? I have all good memories of my birthdays. I really do, from young on. That was a huge celebration, always. And my grandma would always ask. They lived with us till we were 11, or we lived with them until I was 11 years old, our family. She would make cream puffs for my birthday, would always ask what we want. Birthdays were a great celebration in our relation. It was a huge celebration. We would go from house to house for everybody's birthdays, all the time.
What was the favorite gift? What's your favorite gift that you ever got?
Oh,
Big decision here.
yeah, it is. I'm thinking back. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, Payson, that is a very hard question for birthdays, of remembering what I got for my birthdays. I'm thinking. You'd have to give me a little more thinking time on that one. I'm sure it was something that all of you went together, your grandchildren and the children and spouses went together and bought me. And I'm just trying to think what that would have been, or I don't recall. I mean, I've got.
That's okay. That's okay. How did you meet your spouse?
He was working in the same factory as I was. We both were working summer jobs in a factory. And he asked me out. Wasn't really thrilled with him at the time. I wasn't. I actually went out with him to get rid of him. Because I thought, but found out he was a very kind, considerate, caring person. So, the first time I brought him around home, my sister said, "What are you doing with him? He's so quiet." Yeah, but he quit working at the factory because he was allergic to the metal that was the fiberglass. But that's how we met.
That's a cute story.
It's a true one too.
Okay, I love this question. How did you choose the names for your children?
When I was in high school, I started picking names out already.
Really? Because I have something to pick out too.
Yeah.
I have one
Yeah.
name.
And it was between Todd Allen and Brett Thomas. And your grandpa did not like Brett Thomas. So he became a Todd Allen. And then when your dad came, well, by that time someone else had taken the name Brett, which he's very relieved at. And your grandpa said he liked the name Kyle. So he became Kyle Thomas. And Deidre, I had read that name in a book, and I had it from the time I was 14 or 15 years old. Deidre Kay, because my middle name is Kay. So she was going to be Deidre Kay. And that's how I got the names were picked. Now, if she would have been a boy, she was either going to be Scott Douglas or Douglas Scott. Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever learned a lesson from making a mistake?
Oh, all the time. Every day. Every day. Yes. Mistakes is how you learn. Mistakes is how you learn. And I can't even count all the lessons that I have learned from making mistakes. I mean, it's a constant learning. You learn from your mistakes. They say that, but it's true. You do learn from your mistakes.
Yeah. Okay. What is your favorite memory of a holiday?
I have lots of favorite memories of holidays, but that one year we went to Hawaii and we were over there. It was New Year's Eve, and your mom and your Aunt Heather, they weren't married yet, and your dad and Todd and Deidre and us went to Hawaii.
Really?
Yes. And that's a very good memory. It's a very good memory.
What was your favorite thing you did there?
You know what? I changed my mind. I think another good one was taking everybody to Jamaica.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I wish Jody would have been a little older, you know.
Mhm.
But everybody going to Jamaica was wonderful. Oh, going there was wonderful. And swimming with the dolphins was wonderful there.
Oh, yeah.
I was put in charge of you, and they didn't think I could handle it, but I did. You were only little. I mean,
know,
you were
really
little.
little.
And
What was-
Hawaii, we did so many different things. You know, things that we would have never had the chance to do. So, the luau was not one of my favorites. So,
So the luau was not one of the favorite things you did.
not the food. Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Just walking the streets was fun. You know, walking the streets and going on some things, but it was just fun being there.
Okay. How has the world changed for kids now from when you were a kid?
I think you have much more pressure than we did. I think you have so much going on that we weren't faced with. Social media alone is just one of the things that we just didn't have. We had to work harder. That was the only thing. We had to work harder. But all the other things that you have to have, all the sports that you're involved in, I just admire that you kids can handle all that pressure, stress, late hours. There's just so much more for you to have to face now. Just so much more than we had. We just didn't have all that. We were in a small little world. You are in a huge world now. And all the wars that are going on, we didn't have all those wars going on. In fact, I pretty much grew up in my younger years until the Vietnam War without having wars. You know, it just, and we didn't have all that. We just didn't, we weren't having to make decisions in regard to all that. So, it's harder now. It's harder now growing up than it was when I was a kid. So, we didn't have as much. You kids have much more than we ever had. But it's the other things that add the stress and the expectations that you have. And even going to school, to college, is so much different than it was when I went, you know.
What is your favorite sport to watch me play?
I have to tell a whole story to this, okay?
Who?
Of you. I do not remember how old you were. I think you were probably... Do you remember when you had to fill out that form of your favorite sports? And then you were supposed to... And you asked me, I can see you up on your bunk bed, showing it to me. And you said, Grandma, what are your favorite sports to watch? And I said, I like football and volleyball. And you said, no, basketball. Why don't you like basketball? I said, I like basketball, Payson. I like basketball, but I like football and volleyball better. No. It was so funny. You still have that sheet. I know you do, with all those things on it. I love watching you in any sport, Payson. I absolutely love watching you in any sport. I love sports. for someone who wasn't allowed to play sports, you know, we couldn't play sports.
Mhm.
Women couldn't play sports at my, you know, we had nothing. We had nothing. So, except cheerleading. And, but I love watching you in all your sports because you work really hard at it. You excel at it. For me to pick the one I like most, what I love the most probably is probably volleyball again, because it seems that you feel less stressed playing volleyball of all the three that you play. I feel like you feel less stress playing that. And I do love watching you. But the other night at your ball game, the man behind us said that 34, she can do everything. She can do everything. And I said, yeah, she's our granddaughter. He says, she is? And I said, yep. And he said, she's so good at everything. And I was just bursting with pride because he just noticed how talented you are, how athletic you are. But I think people sometimes think, oh, it comes easy because she's tall and no, you work at it. You work hard at it. And that's what people take away sometimes from good athletes, is that they seem to think, oh, you know, it just comes that easy. No, you have to work at it. When your dad and mom had you shooting 100 baskets a day outside, you know, all that kind of stuff, you know, not all kids do that, you know, so it isn't all what people sometimes think they see. So I love your athleticism. You're smart at whatever you do, but I like your hard work, and I like your even tone when the coaches are saying things to you. Those darn coaches.
Those darn coaches. Gosh, I live with that guy.
Yeah, you do. Yep.
Okay. Oh, wait, I skipped. Wait, what? Oh, wait, we're still on this. Wait, what? Oh. Okay. What piece of advice would you give to someone my age?
Don't rush it. Enjoy. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. And if something gets to be too much for you, then say it. Be honest and say it. Continue to treat people that have less than you, whether it be athletically, academically. Treat them just like you would treat anyone else. Sometimes we forget that. Sometimes we forget that we are not all born equal. And so it's rougher for some people. Academically, it might be rougher for them. Athletic, it might be rougher for them. At home, emotionally, it might be harder for them. And we need to be the one kind person for them. And they will remember that. They will remember how people treated them. They will. So that's what I want to be, a kind person. And you are. But don't ever change that. I know we can sputter out sometimes how some people are. But my mom used to say, kill them with kindness, even those that aren't nice. And it's true. But remember that child that doesn't have everything that you have, or that young adult, or that remember that many times it isn't their fault. Yeah, there are those that don't work hard at it, but sometimes there's an underlying reason why they don't, why they struggle. And so we still need to be kind to them. You don't have to be overly, just be kind. You know, be kind to them.
What are the most important characteristics of a good friend?
treat each other with respect. Not talk behind your friend's back. Your friend not talk behind your back. Being there for you. When you do not have, when you need to talk to someone your age, that person, that friend is there for you and will listen to you, no matter what. They won't tell you what to do. They'll just be there. They may just hug you. They just might tell you how much they love you or like you or however, that they're there for you. That's what you want from a friend. Right now, I have a very good friend that's been diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia, and it's like I can't talk with her because I don't want to. There's things I want to say to her and tell her and talk, but I don't want to get her stressed out or anything like that. But that's the kind of friend. We would just talk about anything. You can talk to your friend about anything and they'll still be your friend. They love you unconditionally. They love you unconditionally. And then I have another good friend, and you know her, Marlene.
Oh,
Yeah. Yep. We can sit for hours, 4 hours at a crack, and talk about everything and anything. So that's what friends are for, is that you just, being together, unconditional respect, not judgment is so important. Don't judge other people, and especially your friends, because those are people you trust. That's another big part. Trust. You have to trust them. So, and I bet you have those, don't you?
I have one.
Yeah. You know what? We don't need a lot. I think your dad and your uncle were the best friends almost through high school. Anyway, Uncle Todd thought Kyle was the world for him. Todd had a whole big group of friends. He had a very good group of friends, his class. Your dad, his class was a little iffy, and he hung around with others. But you know what? Friendship isn't based on the number you have. It's based on the friendship you have. And that's the important thing, the friendship you have with that person. And you may not, when you start growing up and you both go your separate ways, you may not see each other a whole lot, but you'll call each other, you'll talk to each other. Well, now you don't call, you snap and yeah. But you'll still be friends. 10 years from now, 20 years from now, you'll be friends, because that's just the way it is. That's the way it is.
When you were younger, did you have a stuffed animal?
I did.
What kind of animal was it?
It was a little bear. It was a bear. And I loved that little bear.
What did you name it?
Oh, probably nothing very creative. I was not a real creative person. I towed the line.
The bare minimum.
Yeah, the bare minimum. That's it. Yeah, I love my bear. I also had a favorite doll with my granddaughter doesn't like.
Okay, I'm sorry. That thing is evil. It is evil. It stares into my soul.
That's the way dolls were made then. That's
Scary.
how.
Scary.
But yeah,
We call it Evil Susie for a reason.
that's just the way Susie was made. But
Okay.
that's okay.
I'll go apologize to Susie.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
But yeah,
Last few questions.
okay.
What can my generation learn from your generation?
Be patient. Take things slowly. Don't be in a hurry all the time. We moved at a much slower pace at things. We liked things like that were more environmental and natural. You know, we weren't into all the electronics and all that. We liked nature and being out there. You know, I think that's something that your generation needs to appreciate what we have in this outside world, inside world. And I just think you need to be more patient, and you're a good generation. When people start nipping at you teenagers and you pre-teenagers or you kids, I get all fizzled up because they forget what they're like. And you are who you are, and you're great the way you are. You know, I know very few young kids that aren't great kids. I can only think of one right now that I would say, I wish things would turn around. You would turn yourself around a little bit. But otherwise, your generation is a great generation. There's nothing wrong with you. And sometimes our generation just, I don't know, we think we can't tolerate. We don't remember when we were kids. And I think that's something we need to appreciate.
What can your generation learn from my generation?
Let's see. How to use electronics? No, that's
It's true.
it's true. But that you don't worry or stress out about things as much. You just kind of take it as it comes, which I'm so glad of. You're not. You don't get in a tizzy about a lot of stuff. You just kind of handle it as it comes. You're in the immediate, the present. You don't worry so much about the future. And you sure aren't in the past, which I'm not either a whole lot, which a lot of my generation is. It was like this in my day. No, yeah. You don't, you approach things as they come up. And we need to do that. We need to approach things. Yeah, we do need to. You need to do some planning. But at your age, even, excuse me, a sophomore in high school, you don't have to worry about what you're going to do after high school yet. Not quite. Nah, you know. And I think we did. We worried about that a little bit more. So we can learn that from you. We can learn that we need just to be just in the present more. Be in the present more and relax a little bit and settle, as your dad would say, settle. But I don't know, what do you think? What can we learn from you?
How to use electronics.
Yeah. There's no hope there. We didn't grow up with it, and I think we do fairly good considering. But
Fairly good.
fairly good. But
Okay, last few questions.
Okay.
here.
Okay.
Well, who was the nicest of your 3 children growing up?
Oh no, I'm not going to do that.
No, like, if one was a brat, you can just say it.
None of them were brats. None of them were brats, because that's the difference too, is that was not acceptable. We were strict disciplinarians. Your mom and dad are probably the strictest disciplinarians of all 3 of our kids, okay? your Uncle Todd probably was, what was the question, kindest? Or
The kindest one growing up, or like the one
He
that
was.
you were nicest to.
He-
Like, he was nicest to you.
you know what? They were all good. Your aunt was, as she would say, as Dieter would say, Mom, I wasn't a very nice person from 12 to 18. And I said, no, 12 to 22. Yeah. Your dad was very quiet.
Yeah,
He was very quiet.
I could see that.
But he was very nice. He didn't. Todd probably was the kindest, and he probably isn't. Don't let him hear this now. He's the one that's more edgy now than I sometimes can't even figure out why he's so edgy. Probably because of his medical problems and things like that. I don't know, but he probably was the kindest. He worshipped your dad, even though he was younger. He worshipped your dad. That was his best bud. Was your dad? He would come from anywhere and ask where he was. You know, they were best buds, those two. So probably growing up, he probably was. Your dad took a phone to your aunt's head one time. 'Cause
I heard about that
yes,
story.
that was
funny.
yeah. So and Todd would have never done that. Todd.
It was impulse. He didn't want to get in trouble.
Right. And he hardly ever did, but according to your aunt, he was sneaky. So
He was
I don't know.
sneaky.
Yeah, he was sneaky.
He was that quiet, sneaky kid.
Yeah, he was that quiet, sneaky kid. So
Okay, last and final
Okay.
question for all the marbles.
for all the marbles. Okay.
Who's your favorite grandkid?
I always say you're my favorite 13-year-old granddaughter.
I'm not your favorite 13-year-old.
You are my favorite 13-year-old granddaughter. I don't know any other 13. You're my favorite 13-year-old.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love all of you, and I love a different part of all of you. And I truly can't pick one grandchild over another because you're all so individual and different. You all have your things that are just so endearing about you that, you know, every one of you, if you told me what do you like about, you know, each one of us as you are, I could probably sit down and do that because you're all so different. But there's been times that I don't like the behaviors.
So we're gonna go there.
Yep. The behaviors of some of my grandchildren. But I honestly, truly can't say that is now. It was when some of you were younger and something like that. And there was one particular one, it wasn't you, who was just kind of a snot and has totally outgrown that. And so, and you'll probably know who
Let
it
me
is.
guess, Kendra.
Yeah. And she is not like that at all. No.
How did I know?
She just was, and she is not at all anymore. For the last probably 3 years, she hasn't. But she was, like Dieter, kind of, going through all that, But each of you are so different. You really are. You're person, but you all get along.
Yeah.
You are so good to Angela. You are so good to her. When I say, when I see people treat other people differently because they don't live up to their standards, I see this happening to Angela at times. I also see it happening to you because people are jealous of you. That they treat you wrongly. They are jealous of you. And you have to remember that. But Angela's is the other way. It's because of the way she learns, and there are people that just put themselves above her. And you have never done that. I hear about the bomb threat and how when you found her, she she settled down. She had been shaking. She was crying. And when she found you, she was okay. And you always do that to her, Payson. You always make her feel better. I know you two have your differences at times. I know that,
Yeah.
and that's bound to happen, okay? You're cousins, and you're different. And you each have your own friends. But you always treat her with respect. And you're honest with her. And she can get a little, at times, she's getting so much better too. But she is.
She is.
So I think she's coming into herself, that she now feels she's okay, but all that kind of stuff. But you've always treated her with kindness and respect. And sometimes it's hard because at times she was a little pain in the butt, and so, but you always did. And when I hear how Jordy couldn't wait, he had to know if Tree was okay, and how you comforted Angela, it's like, yes, that's what our family is about. We may not always agree on everything, which is okay, because but we're there for each other. And you are my favorite 13-year-old, but you're also my favorite 13-year-old granddaughter. And I love you. I love
Thank
you.
for doing that.
I love you so much, hon.
I love you too.
So,
Dang, my hand's sweaty.
yeah, mine too. But it was nice to hold hands with you. So,
I love you.
I love you. And this weekend, a long drive.
Yeah, I gotta type this all out now. Everything you said.
Tonight,
Even
Jen.
some of that long stuff.
You can let some of that out. You don't have to type everything out. You
Thank
don't
you for the
have.
socks. Had to borrow them.
You can wear them home.
Alrighty.
Okay. You can have them, as you can see. Oh, here's your phone way over here.
Oh, it's fine.
So.